There's something big that's going on right now that needs to be considered, that there's not a lot of people that are paying attention to this. And I'm talking about an absolute major comfort zone. And we're going to be talking about what that major problem is and what's going on. I'll see you on the inside in podcast number 481, Major Problem.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Hey, welcome back. This is podcast number 481. Today we're going to be talking about the major problem. But remember, in this podcast, in this lifestyle, if we're going to have a problem, we have to come up with a solution. That's just the way it goes. 90% of your energy needs to really be focused on what the solution is and what you're willing to do in order to be a part of that solution. I would say maybe 10% you could devote to what the actual problem is, maybe 9%, and 1% is why is it important to solve this problem? Like, what's basically the outcome? Is there a benefit to this? You can't just attack every single problem that's out there and think that you're going to be the solution to everything and everybody. It's not going to work out. But on one hand, you have to realize that people will come up to you and will ask you, complain to you, vent to you, just get in your ear and complain a lot. And one of the best ways to mitigate that or stop that from happening is to realize that when people realize who they're talking to you, that you're going to be the person that's going to be like, okay, great. I understand what the problem is. Now let's live in the solution. It drives my wife absolutely nuts. She could be talking, she could be venting, she could just be saying what's ever on her mind. And I automatically go into, okay, I've identified what the problem is. Now here's a solution. I think most guys are inherently built that way. But what's funny is we can do it for other people. But when it comes to us, when it comes to guys, I have a hard time with actually adjusting those things. So I have to realize that, there's going to be a small portion of planning when it comes to what the problem is or what the solution is. But once I identify what the problem is, then it happens pretty quick. Here's the adversity that I'm in. You have to realize, you just have to understand that, okay, once you've identified it, it's time to go into what is the solution. And then you're going to have to take action immediately. From knowing what the solution is and taking action, that nano moment of time is a comfort zone. You have to reduce that comfort zone. When I started this whole thing, the first comfort zone that I identified was the time that when the alarm goes off to when my hand hits the snooze button. That time right there is the comfort zone. I just need to listen to the alarm or get up before the alarm and be up and ready to go. And then my next deadline, if you will, is that I have to show up at the coffee pot by a certain time. I have to show up at my journal a certain time. I have to show up at the shower a certain time. And when I put these commitments in place, when I manage my minutes and moments and realize that my whole day turns out to be a schedule for self-growth, self-development, I'm going to have a better day. You have to take a minute. You have to take a moment to smell the roses, especially in all the chaos of our lives when things are going on and we have the demands of business, the demands of people, the demands of kids. We have to take those minutes and moments for ourselves to recalibrate, to understand that, listen, if I'm in fact going to be the best version of myself, I have to realize that I have to take time to become aware of where I'm at, identify how I got here and understand where it is that I want to go, make the decisions and then take the actions. That's part of the blueprint that I talk about on the NoComfortZone.com. And why I'm talking about the major problem is I was on a call the other day with, I would say he's a big influencer. And it came up and we were just talking, life things, whatnot, business, all of this stuff. And in the phone call, what was interesting, he asked me about my business and what's going on. And I stopped for a moment and I was like, I see a real problem going on right now. He's like, well, business is great, isn't it? I mean, almost like the best ever. Inventory supplies are low, which means inventory costs are down. Sales are up high and profitability is high and customer satisfaction is at an all-time high. And, employee Retention is really great right now, and there's just a lot of great things that are going on. But I said, hey, I'm a little concerned because we have a major problem going on. What's that? Because the income has increased roughly 40%. However, the activities have decreased like by half, by 50%. He goes, yeah, I could see that being a problem. And I'm like, man, this is like the calm before the storm. This is exactly what happened to me, happens to most people, is you're not paying attention to what's going on around you. You're just living it up. You're enjoying life. Everything's going good. You're not preparing for the future. And when that adverse time comes in, it's going to hurt bad for a lot of people because they've gotten complacent with not doing the activities that are necessary to be successful. This is a condition of the industry right now. This is just normal. There's ups and there's downs, and we're riding the wave right now. I'm in the automobile industry, and at one time, people all left the automobile industry to get into mortgage lending. Then when that bubble bursted, people would come back into the automobile industry, and then they went back into the RV industry. And now it seems like they're going into the camping world and stuff like that industry. A lot of jumping back and forth. But what I want to say, and why this is relative to the listeners that aren't in the automobile industry, is that ask yourself a question right now. You may very well be one of those, 30% of the population that's dealing with some major adversity right now. And you catch this program and you're like, man, yeah, I've got like money issues. I've got relationship issues. I have health issues. There's family issues. You could be one of those people. And my heart goes out to you. But I want to tell you is that you have to be the solution. You have to start being that person that people are going to look up to and consider that you're the problem solver. And you have to have some critical thinking, like we talked on the last podcast. You're going to have to be that person that actually understands how to set goals, how to deal with adversity, how to persevere, and how to stay calm when everyone's going chaotic around you. And one of the best ways I know to do that is literally the blueprint that I created. I apply the principles of the blueprint every single day in my conversations in business and just people that I work with from this no comfort zone. It's the basis of everything that is when it comes to dealing with adversity, problem solving. And the best part is you can find your purpose in this process. And there's a lot of people that quite a few people that I've met in my life who, I just got a phone call from a guy that I haven't heard from in probably, almost 20 years. Reached out to me and wants to have a meeting and just talk. And where we left off was he had to go back to Peru and just reached out of the blue. And it was great to hear from him. And I was super excited to hear from him. And I also was like, well, I hope everything's going well for him in his life because we haven't talked in a long time. He had to go back to Peru because of, I think, a death of a family member, maybe even his father. So he had to deal with some adversity. But the great part is this, is that whether you are dealing with adversity or not dealing with adversity, your life's going to go on. It's the quality of life. And when I talk about this major problem, it's my hope that you understand that you're really, wherever you're at in the world, that you realize that the quality of your life could be so much better than it currently is by applying some standards and intentions in place, two different things, wanting something, desiring something, having the belief that you're actually going to get it, that you can actually do it, that you actually will persevere and overcome this. And then, having the determination and the faith that everything is going to work out. And when things don't go the way that you intended them to be, well, you have a plan and you have support and you understand that this is life and this is just what happens. All too often, people get to a point where the problems become so overwhelming that they lose their identity in the process. And that's why when I talk about the blueprint, one of the first things we talk about is self-awareness and identify how you got there. How is it you became you? And it's really weird. I mean, people get really freaked out initially because when we talk about, who are you? Okay, no, and why do you say that? How do you know? What do other people say about you? What do you say about yourself? Who do you want to be? Are you the person you ideally want to be? And most people say no, they don't. And I'm here to tell you that, a tree doesn't have a choice. A tree has to be a tree. We're, as human beings, we've been given this wonderful imagination and this wonderful ability to create, and you can create the lifestyle and the dreams and life that you want. I know that for sure because I should have been homeless. I should have been a bum on the street. That's where my life was going and where it was for a few minutes and moments in time. And when I look around and I see this major problem of lack of activities, but people are being successful, it's not going to be pretty. You need to develop skills, and now is the time to get the necessary skills to thrive, to grow, because things will turn down. They always do. And people lose their minds. People lose everything. There's a lot of people that are, you might be one of them too, that listen to this, that don't have their finances in order. And if you don't have your finances in order, it's going to be shocking when things turn around. You have to prepare for that rainy day, but you have to enjoy the rainy day when it's there. It's just one of those things in life that you have to look at and say, you know what, no matter what, good or bad or indifferent, you just have to be like, you know what, it really is all good, because all the problems and all the adversity that have been given to you were gifted to you. They were given to you for a reason. Those were problems for you to solve, for you to endure, for you to overcome. And once you learn the lessons from those, then you become a better person. And by becoming a better person, you surround yourself with better people. Better person, better people, better reality. Your personal reality can change quite a bit with your ability to solve problems. But it all comes down to you have to want to take massive action. Do the activities that equal success. Get up early. Stay late. Try harder. Keep going. Have that grit. Have that determination. Don't quit. Realize that if it has to be, it's up to me. And if you believe in yourself, anything is possible. I believe in you. Some of you people out there are hanging on right now. You're thinking to yourself, is this the end of my relationship? Is this all there is? What's going to happen tomorrow? Take a deep breath in today. Now, even if you're driving, listening to this podcast, just take a deep breath in. You made it. You're here right now. Time for you to recalibrate. Take a little bit of energy. Focus on what the problems are. Write them down. Write down what your goals are and what you want to do to achieve the best version you can of that. Whatever that is, however that problem solved looks for you, write it down. Make an attempt. Try harder. Keep trying. Remember, it's not a problem that you have. It's not a money problem. It's not a relationship problem. It's not even a you problem. It all comes down to resources. What resources do you have available to you that can help you get to that point in your life where you have the ability to literally solve your own problems, create your own better reality? If you need help with this, go to thenocomfortzone.com. Schedule some time with me. 20 minutes is all it would really take to find out where you're at and where it is you want to go, and you'll walk away with a plan that's worked for me. It's worked for others. And if you're really dialed in, if you really think this and you want to pick up the challenge, tell me, email me, Dan@thenocomfortzone. I'm ready. I want to take the No Comfort Zone challenge. I want to change everything about me over a 60-day period, and I want to come out the other side unrecognizable. If you believe in yourself, you're halfway there. Now you just need a plan. If you're lacking the belief, don't worry. I believe in you. Take a chance. Go to thenocomfortzone.com and see what happens next. Until we meet again, do me a favor. Live your life to the fullest. Be prepared by taking action. Live in the solution. 90% of your energy goes towards living in that solution and finding that solution. 10% goes to identifying what the problem is. And always remember this. When you begin to really live your life, you'll live a life of purpose. And the only way to do that is to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.